I am Sarah. Some people may know me by Clover, but my given Christian name is Sarah. I am 19 years old and I live here in Snohomish, Washington. I've lived here my whole life. I feel like I'm a good person. I'm good at making people feel comfortable when they might feel a little bit uncomfortable. And people used to tell me I should be a therapist, but I would not want to spend all day listening to people's problems. So I wanted to be on Broadway really bad, and like, if you knew me, I told everybody that. I was like, I'm gonna be on Broadway. Just give me until I'm 25 and I'm gonna be on Broadway. That's kind of since passed, but I really wanted to do that for a while. I think the theatrical world is very political, and I would rather pursue a life of peace than one of politics. And I don't think competition is unhealthy. I like competition, but I don't like the idea of my whole life depending on me being compared to 100 other people going for the same part as me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like myself a lot more than I ever used to. And I feel like I used to really play the game of life in high school, you know, because everybody's playing the game of life in high school. And now I kind of have learned that it doesn't so much matter what other people think about you whatsoever. I personally am very sexual. I always have been. I've always been a very sexual person. But I don't think that that's why I strip. I don't think that that's why any of the girls strip. I feel like, you know, stripping has actually helped unlock that sexual being inside of me, just because of the nature of the business. Because it really is. I've never thought of sex as a commodity, but it is. You know, these women, like, we make a lot of money off of the idea that people will pay for your attention. And that does sort of turn it into a game, but I think, you know, overall it's been very empowering. For me personally, I've seen it be not so empowering for a lot of women. And I think it really depends on the head that you've got on your shoulders when you enter the industry. But yeah, for me, it's really helped my sexuality. I think it's opened me up to the idea that you don't have to be insecure. Just because, like, the variety of people that you see in the stripping world is insane. There are people of all shapes and sizes and personalities and backgrounds. And, you know, it's incredible because people will throw dollars at all of them. You know what I mean? I don't know, I've definitely been kind of insecure in my life. And I feel like stripping has really combated that, just because, like, it's hard to be so insecure when you are so desired. There's this man, I shit you not, this guy was old enough to be my grandfather. This was when I was actually still waitressing. I wasn't even a stripper at this point, but he liked me, and I saw him looking at me, and so, you know, I thought I could get some money, so I went to go talk to him and sat down with him for a sec. And he told me the weirdest story about gutting a fish. And I don't know if it was like some sort of innuendo, or because he wasn't creepy. He was very socially awkward, but I wasn't at all like intimidated. But it was just this guy that was coming into this environment, and he ended up slipping me a $5 bill for having this conversation with him. And he was just going in depth about gutting a fish. And I remember getting done with this conversation and asking myself, you know, why did he come here to have that conversation with some girl that's not even a stripper, because I wasn't at the time? Why? And it just, I don't know, it gave me some perspective that I think it's about more than just the sex, this whole industry that I work in. Because that man that came in, he just wanted to talk. He was lonely, and he told me that his wife had died, which was weird, but, you know, just this lonely man that wanted to have a conversation about fishing and a creek that ran behind his house when he was a kid with some girl that he'd never met before and would probably never meet again. I think everybody that comes in is a character. You can see their personalities like on their sleeves. You really can. It's an incredible experience getting to meet so many people in such a raw environment. This woman that I work with, and she's got 3 kids, and she has an apartment for them all. She's completely independent. The father's not in the picture. She is 100% in her children's lives, and she strips at night. And when she's stripping, her mom comes over and takes care of the kids, and she gets to be in her kids' lives. She gets to be like mother, like that's her job. And then when it turns 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, you know, she'll go to the strip club and she'll go and work, and she'll make enough money in that night to support herself and her 3 children. And it's her career. It's what she does. And she does it not because of her job, not because she's passionate about stripping, but because she's passionate about her children, you know, and her life. And I think that's awesome, because I think in our society we're really career-based and success-oriented, and I think it's important what you do for a living. But I think being a stripper has given me the ability to really not define myself by what I'm doing for a job. Like, I go to the club and I am Clover, and I, you know, put on a facade, and I'm, you know, then I leave the club and then I'm back to being Sarah. And it's like 2 different worlds, and I think that's cool. Because yeah, it could be a career, you know, but like, what's it matter if it's my career? Like, I'm a person outside of what I do for a living. In the shade with your hands on mine, before the sky started to turn gray. Feels like I'll never get over you, I swear.